The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Exploring the Unknown with Rebecca Williamson and Shea Carroll. Taking stories from today's news, Rebecca and Shea will explore everything from the paranormal, supernatural, the strange and unusual, unsolved mysteries, and more. Join them as they dive deep into the unknown and mysterious. Taken from news headlines, water cooler chats with a paranormal twist and sarcasm. Be sure to join the Facebook group Exploring the Unknown with Rebecca and Shea for behind the scenes, info, articles, and all updates. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Oh, have I started? Welcome back to the show, Shea. Here you go.
It's Shea.
It's Shea. Oh, man, that's quite the intro, huh?
Woohoo! Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's Shea.
Shea, I'm back. This is the first show I've done in months and months and months and months.
So you should be all primed and ready to go then.
Yeah, I am. And I'm not high.
Woo!
How about that? I would hate for somebody to listen to one of our shows out of context and me talking about being high all the time.
That Jersey Devil one where you were so loopy and the article was
so bad.
Yes.
So bad. Hey, I tried though.
Oh, it was funny though. Oh gosh, that's my favorite episode, I think, because it was just so funny.
Well, a few of them you didn't help. Mermaid tears. I mean, come on.
That mermaid, I'm telling you.
I mean, here I am on medicine, high as a kite, and you're talking about fucking mermaid tears. I'm like, what am I on? But no, you really said it.
Yeah.
I think that's because I got you going too bad, though, huh?
No, that thing was just, I can't believe it was posted on a public city website. That was just like, whoa.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. So, yeah, so I'm not fully recovered, but I'm recovered enough. It's been, I don't even know, what, 2.5 months since my surgery?
Yeah, I think 2.5 months. So, yeah.
Beginning of March, the first week. So,
but it was a pretty major surgery, and
it was.
I'm just glad you're doing better.
I am. I'm doing a lot better. Still pain, but I'll have a lot of pain until they do the next surgery, which won't be for a while. So, but so my daughter will be home in 5 days.
Yay!
Yes, England cannot keep her.
That's exciting.
Yes, I can't wait. She can't wait either.
Yeah, I've enjoyed seeing all the pictures of all the cool places that she's been going.
Yeah, I try to keep up with putting them in, some of them in our group, just where in the world is Kate?
Yeah.
Because she's been to some great places.
Yeah, she has. She's really been to some awesome places. It's a awesome trip of a lifetime there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I am so excited. We're going to skip ahead. I'm so excited. I don't know if you were drinking and agreed to do this show. I know we were talking about experiences and stuff, but when I threw it out there, I did not expect you to agree to this.
I'm kind of surprised I agreed to it too, but So to back up a little bit, I, Becca, have been dating a little lately, and Shea has been the sounding board for the how badly it's gone. And yeah, so anyway, Shay came up with an idea of doing the show on bad dates.
Our bad dates.
Yeah, Shay's
No story, just ours.
Oh, yeah. I have some rather epically bad dates. So
Oh, I can't think of a better topic to come back to. I really can't. So, oh, I can't wait. I'm going to try not to laugh, but we're going to be laughing through this whole thing.
Oh no, you have to laugh at these because they are just that bad.
I've heard a couple, so I already know, and I'm still going to be laughing.
Yeah, and I went through and made a list of the ones that I wanted to talk about because there's some that I won't talk about. And
Obviously.
Yeah, and some I can't talk about because I don't want to upset people. And anyway, but yeah, I came up with a list, and I sent the list to Shay, and she's like, "Oh yeah," and I'm so.
All right, you go first, girl.
Okay.
I'm glad this isn't live, so there's
No.
we can't read the comments, so this
No,
is good.
not live. That's probably a good thing.
Yes.
So this is like a chronological. I think I'm going to do it chronologically. So this is one from college.
Oh boy.
And this one, like, he was a really nice guy, really good looking. He had this long blonde hair and was just like, really nice looking guy. And we went out to eat, and then we go back to his house to watch a movie. So he pops in Last of the Mohicans, which, if you knew this guy, Last of the Mohicans is like what he considers the ultimate of movies ever. And so we're sitting there watching Last of the Mohicans, kind of cuddled up, and all of a sudden he leans down and bites my thigh and then sits back up and goes back to watching the movie.
Like bites it hard? Like bites?
Yeah, bites it. I mean, like, not like break the skin, but I mean, it was definitely like a lean down, bite, and then sit back up to watch the movie. And I just kind of like, did that really just happen? Type, like. And then we finished watching the movie, and nothing was said. Neither of us said anything about the bite. Or, I mean, I didn't know what to say. I mean, what do you say? I don't know.
What the hell are you doing?
Right? I don't know. It was just this random bite. He just leans down, randomly bites me in the middle of watching this movie. And then
like nothing?
Yeah, and then like nothing. It wasn't like the prequel to anything else. It was just this random bite. And then we went on. And yeah, but then we didn't go out again. And
I wonder why.
So fast forward a little bit, he's still a friend and he's dating another girl. And he's, I can't remember how it came up, but apparently that was the bite test. He did that to every girl he dated to see what their reaction was. And if they passed the bite test, then they went on the next date. I failed the bite test.
How were you supposed to pass it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Punch him?
I don't know what reaction I was supposed to have, but obviously my reaction of
Ignore it.
yeah, was not the reaction. I don't know. And that was my question too, is like, what reaction was I supposed to have to this? And he couldn't really say. And I'm like, well, I don't I failed. I failed that test.
Maybe he likes it rough. And he's seeing if it turns you on.
Well, you have to do more than just one bite to kind
I
of.
know.
I mean,
Becca's like, you got to bite me at least 3 times before.
or follow the bite up with something else. I mean,
Yeah, that's weird.
it was. It was a.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was it was really weird, and it might have been a good thing that I failed the bite test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say yes.
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 Oh my God. Oh. And these are chronological. Oh boy. Oh. All right. So college age Becca, we got to remember, guys, was not into biting. All right.
Well, I don't know that I wasn't into biting. It was just, you got to do something more than just lean over and bite me. I mean,
I'm not editing that out. If you could hear how that sounded. You gotta spank me when you bite me.
maybe I would have passed that test. I
There
don't know.
you go. Right? Oh God. And this is just the first one.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right,
Okay.
Shea, did you want to tell one? Or
I only have 2.
okay.
I only have 2. Oh. All right. I'll wait. You go to the next one.
Okay. Let me look at my list. Next one. Oh, first date with my second husband. So my first date with Alan.
Okay.
It was a blind date. So, another friend asked me out for his friend, like a mutual friend. He's like, "Hey, my friend really wants to go out with you. Do you want to go out with him?" I'm like, whatever, sure, why not? I don't know anything about this guy. I don't even know his name. Okay, fine, whatever. And he says it's one of his friends that he plays poker with, which I'd walked in on a poker thing to pick up my kid from his house, and they'd all been sitting there around the poker table. So not all of them had teeth.
What? Wait, did I hear that right? Not all of them had teeth?
No,
Okay.
not all of them had teeth. I would say about half of them would be people I would never have dated ever. But I don't know. He caught me in a moment. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll go out with whoever, whatever. And so I was pretty nervous leading up to this date because I didn't know who I was going out with. And like I said, there was at least 2 that I definitely would never have gone out with ever if I would have known which one I was going out with. And so anyway, I like was talking to the girls and they're like, I said it's Alan, and they're like, oh, out of all of them, that's a good one, because they were kind of nervous for me at first too. They're like, you agreed to go out with one of Ryan's friends? I'm like, yeah, they don't know which one, and they're like, oh God, and I'm like, yeah, and I said, well, it's Alan, and they're like, oh, whoo, out of all of his friends, that's the good one. Okay, you're all right. I'm like, okay, whoo. So he shows up and we go out to eat. And then afterwards, he's like, do you want to go for a drive? And I'm like, sure, let's go for a drive out in the country. So he's driving us around on these really wild back roads, like 1-lane dirt roads. And we go out to this one, like it's an abandoned bridge out in the middle of nowhere. And this is the part where I normally get stopped.
I see axe murderer.
I know, because I'm going out on a blind date with a guy I've never really met before. And we're I mean, it's really sketchy country back roads. And so I got to work the next morning. They're like, how did your date go? I'm like, oh, well, we drove out to, Seaville, which is like an unincorporated town that's a ghost town with an abandoned bridge. And we drove out there, and the guy stops and he looks at me and he goes, I'm glad you made it back alive.
Right? What did you do at the abandoned bridge?
We just looked at it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, honestly, that's all we did. We just looked at it. He didn't even kiss me on that date.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was so shy. He was that shy. He didn't even kiss me. He didn't even ask me out himself on the second date. He had his friend ask me out for him on the second date, too.
Oh, God.
And I married that one.
You married that one.
Yeah.
This is the story I was waiting for before I told mine. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so I'm young. I had already had my oldest son at this point. So I think I was 17 or 18 at this point. I wasn't with the dad. So I go on this date with a friend that I'd known for a long time. Not a long time, but relatively a couple of years maybe at the most. But as an acquaintance, he was my ex's friend. And then we stayed friends afterwards. So we go to my friend Trisha's party, and there's some names I can use and there's some names I can't use. So she's having this big party. So mind you, I'm young and I wasn't a drinker, but we were all drinking. So we decide to go out, sit out in his car to talk right in front of the house. And we're still drinking and we're drinking and we're drinking. Well, we were out there for hours drinking. Mind you, again, I'm not a drinker. So, and he's like, yeah, I really like you, blah, 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 17, 18. That's how old I am. So I look at him and I say, and I'm hammered. And I look at him and I say, I hope you don't think any less of me now, but I'm going to puke. And I open his car door and puke for like 5 minutes. Like, puke. And so I shut the door, and at the same time, we both pull a thing of toothpaste out of our jacket pockets. He wanted to hear. So you would think right there, I don't know, if I was him, I'd run.
Well, you both had toothpaste. I mean, obviously, it's kismet right there.
Well, that was the weirdest part. We both carried it around with us and a toothbrush everywhere we went.
So he still had his teeth. So,
yes,
I mean,
yes.
Like I said,
I still had all my teeth at that point, too. So, anyways, fast forward a couple years, now we went from 1 kid to 3 kids, and I ended up marrying him, too.
Nah.
No, yeah, it didn't end very well, but but yes, so I would have ran. I would have but yeah, I said it so dead serious. I hope you don't think any less of me, but I'm gonna puke now. And then besides the toothpaste thing, we just went right back to talking like nothing happened.
Well, obviously he didn't think any less of you for puking.
I guess not. It was a sign, though. He didn't hold my hair. That's a sign of a good man.
Well, yeah.
So, but yeah, at least I didn't throw up on him.
See, yeah. This is good too.
Another throw up story before you go on that I just thought of. I was older now, divorced, and I had gone on a couple bad dates. One of them I'm going to talk about in a little while, but I liked this guy for, a couple of years, and we always flirted, and, he was recently divorced. So finally, we all hang out and blah, 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 and we went to the bar where I worked, and we're all drinking. So we leave, and we didn't drink that much. I was feeding everybody tequila, but, again, we went from when I didn't drink to now I work at a bar and can drink. So, well, we get to the place, we go back to pick up different cars because I couldn't drive, he couldn't drive, so we're like figuring out who's going where. And he pukes all over the parking lot, all over the car, outside of the car, all over my shoes.
Oh my.
I think he was drunk. I think he wanted to kiss me.
You think he was drunk? Uh-huh.
Yeah. But he only had like 3 sunrise tequilas or something, or I think. But anyway, so he didn't drink. But yeah, he puked all over my shoes. And, we were still friends after. And he bought me a new pair of shoes, but we never went out again. That was it. So.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. My turn again?
Yes. You have more than me.
Well, I like tried to curate the list of weirdest ones. So this one, I dated this guy for like a year, a little over a year. And I liked him a lot. I ended up being a bitch at the end, but anyway, he went on cemetery dates with me.
Doesn't sound bad to me.
No, well, I mean, so working on genealogy stuff. I like to go to the cemetery where my ancestors are buried and try and find them. So, like, some of these cemeteries are in the middle of nowhere.
All I can picture is you, Marco
Polo, yeah.
Like.
Yeah, no, this is so old cemeteries in the middle of nowhere. My parents don't like me to go out and do that all by myself. So,
So you bring a date.
So yes, so bring your date. I'm like, hey, Tucker, I got this cemetery. So we've got like GPS coordinates, and we're trying to locate these little cemeteries and in the middle of nowhere. And I have some of the best cemetery stories, but one of the best cemetery stories is from On a Date with Tucker. So we're trying to find this one, and I've got the GPS coordinates, but I can't figure out how to get to it. We can kind of see it in the back of this field behind this guy's house. So I go up and I knock at the door of the guy, and I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get to that cemetery. How do I get to that? Because I mean, I'm going to have to walk through his field like a mile behind his house to get to it if I go through that way, but surely there's a better way.
Has to be.
Yeah. So the guy's like, oh yeah, go back down to the highway and go through this other guy's driveway, and it goes up back behind his house up the hill, and it'll take you to the cemetery. Like, okay. So we go back, we drive through this guy's driveway, and sure enough, past his house, the driveway keeps going. It goes up a little hill, and at the top of the hill is this cemetery. And we're pretty isolated back here. I'm just saying this is middle of nowhere. We're hearing fiddles type, And so we get out of the car, and Dr. and I are walking around looking for the dead person, my dead relative that's buried here, looking for this stone, kind of wandering around. And this guy in this pickup truck pulls up. And I'm like, okay, he's checking on us to see what we're doing back here.
Right.
I mean, we weren't doing anything except walking around looking at stones. But he gets out of his truck, this guy, and he comes walking up to us and he's like, "Hey, have you seen a donkey?" And I said, "What?" That is just totally not what I was expecting him to say. And he says, "Have you seen a donkey?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Yeah, it's kind of cream colored with black spots. I'm looking for a donkey." And we're like, "Oh, okay, nope, we haven't seen it." He's like, "Okay, well, let me know if you do." And he hops in his truck and drives off.
Let me know if you do. Like, hey, I found your ass.
Right?
But you're in the middle of nowhere. Oh, wow.
I mean, it was the weirdest, most random thing ever. And Decker and I are looking at each other going, "What was that?"
Again, you escaped a murder scene.
Yet again.
Yet again.
I survived that date.
Yeah, everybody survived. Have you seen a donkey? I would have been like, do you hear him? Is he real?
There was a lot of looking at each other going,
I'm sure.
Did he just say that? And then after he left, we laughed so freaking hard. I mean, we were just rolling laughing. Oh my gosh. So
that
funny.
is weird too.
It was so weird, so random. But apparently the guy does really own a donkey and loses it constantly out in that area. I found out later, so it wasn't totally.
But you didn't know that at the time.
At the time, no. At the time, we had no clue. And it's still like one of the weirdest, most random things to happen in a cemetery ever. On a date.
Yeah. That is. That is weird. Ah, man. All right, so 2 times you're out in the middle of nowhere and a stranger appears. Well, 1 time you went with the stranger, 1 time a stranger appeared.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
Becca's brushes of death.
Yeah. All right, so did you have another one?
I only have 1 more that I can think of.
Okay. I'll let you do yours and then we'll go back to my weird list here.
Okay. Well, it's nothing weird. It's just a horrible, horrible date. It's the only one I can think of. It was around the same time I just told you about that other guy that I went out with when I worked at the bar. So maybe a little before that, but I was freshly divorced and wasn't dating much, if at all. I can't even remember. Anyways, so I go out on this date, and he's a really good guy. I knew him from the bar and, funny, and I knew there was going to be a problem when he took me. The bar was attached to a restaurant. He took me to the restaurant where I worked on the date to eat.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, well, number 1, this is weird. Number 2, I don't like Chinese food. At that point, I didn't like Chinese food.
Well, if you're working there, yeah.
Yeah. I worked there for a long time. But anyway, so So small talk, you know, do you like this type of music? No. Like, so we had nothing in common. We find out before like the appetizers even come. So we're still trying to make small talk, and there's just absolutely nothing in common. And so the main meal's there, and we don't say a word.
Oh gosh.
We're just sitting there eating because literally we had nothing in common. Like everything I liked, he didn't, and everything he liked, and it was just okay. So well, I guess we're not going to say anything.
Awkward.
Yeah, it was so awkward. So then he's like, "Do you want to go to blank this place?" I'm not going to say the name. And no, I want to go home.
Yeah, I can see that.
I just
Cut it
want to
off
go
now.
home.
Cut off this
If we
awkward
can't
stuff.
eat a meal together, we're not going to go have a couple drinks together. You know.
No.
So he brings me home, drops me off, and I'm like, phew, over, done. I don't have to deal with this again. Occasionally, I might see him at that other place that I go to once in a while, but other than that, so I don't even think I took his number, his phone number. You know? And this is how old this story is. I realize that I can't find my pager.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay, so I go to work the next day and I'm searching everywhere to see if it's at work. Nope. And I'm like, I know it's in his Jeep. It must have fallen out of my coat pocket. I don't have his number. I didn't want his number.
Right. Now you have to get a hold of him again and you don't want to.
Right. But this is how, this is how my babysitter gets a hold of me. And this is, no cell phones then, guys. It was a pager. Right. So all I can do is keep paging myself, hoping he'll hear it.
Right.
So 3 days later, I'm still paging myself.
3 days later?
Literally. And I'm at the front desk at work. And in he walks. And he puts it on the counter and says, "Sorry, I think you left this in my car." And I'm like, "Thank you." And he's standing there. "Thank you." And he just turns around and walks out. He knew it was a bad date too. Like nobody was rude. It was just awkward. But whenever I saw him walking in, I'm like, "No, I can't talk to him. I can't talk to him." I was telling my sister, "No, you do it. You do it." Yeah. So that's horrible. I don't think I ever saw him again. I think he stopped going to the place we hung out at too.
Oh.
Honestly, I don't even know. To be real honest, I don't even know if he knew I worked at that restaurant, because we didn't meet there. We met at this other place we used to hang out at, this other bar restaurant.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So, but yeah, so there you go. That's mine. Because most of my dates ended up in like marriage or long-term relationships, to be honest. This is the longest I've ever been single in my life, and I love it.
Being single isn't horrible. It's not a horrible thing, really. Yeah, there's a lot worse than being single. I will say for sure.
I like it. Seriously. Okay, hit me. What do you got?
Okay. So this one, I'm not even sure if I'm going to classify this as a date. I don't think this was, okay? To be clear, I did not think this was a date at all. Okay? But I've been
a person that thought I was on a date and then realized I wasn't on a date.
I did not think this was a date. And I still kind of have my doubts, but I've been told by multiple people in my life that it probably was a date. So I will let you make this decision. Okay. So
I've been on both sides. I'll tell you the truth.
Okay. So to preface this is a friend of a friend And he has some good business ideas. We talk tourist stuff all the time, and he's like talking about like different ideas of things that I can do at the farm for like business stuff. And so he says, have you ever been to Starved Rock? I'm like, no, I've never been to Starved Rock, which is about 2 hours away from here. And it's a state park in Illinois, Starved Rock. I'd never been. They've got like hiking trails and canyons and stuff like that. And he's like, we should go together and like look at this. He's like, I think you can do some of the same stuff they do at Starved Rock out at the farm. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's make a time to do it. So we make up this time, and I meet him at his house, and then we drive up to Starved Rock, which is about 45 minutes from where he lives. We chit-chatting in the car on the way about different things to do on the farm, and we talk about his family a little bit, my family a little bit, and because his family used to go to this place a lot. So we go out there, we're like looking at the lodge and talking about, oh, this would be really cool to have it at the farm, and what key takeaways, what I can replicate, what I can't replicate, and then let's go on the hiking trail. There's this trail, and you get to see waterfalls and these canyons and stuff, and so we do the hiking trail. We come back and we eat lunch. It's really good lunch, and we kind of chit-chatting more about the restaurant and replicating that at the farm, but I can't do that because I need somebody to cook. And anyway, and so then afterwards he's like, well, there's this winery I really want you to check out because it's really cool. He's like, I really think you should do a winery at the farm. I'm like, yes, I should do a winery at the farm. So he's like, you used to have to check out their building and see their building. I'm like, yes, let's go. So we go to the winery, we drink a bottle of wine. They've got really good wine there, and I'm buying wine. We're drinking the wine. We're talking about their setup out there. The owner comes out and is talking to us about different things that she did to set up her winery there, and how they got started in it. And we talk about that. And then afterwards, like, we go back to his house. I get my car and go home.
So why does he think that was a date?
I don't think that's a date. I don't think that's a date.
Who thinks it's a date?
A lot of Chad and Jamie think that's a date because we went out to eat, we did a hiking trail, and we went to a winery.
Well, no, a date has to be classified as a date beforehand.
Right?
You're just two people. I mean, you could take it either way, but no, not if you. I mean, did you ever go out with him again? Did he ever call you and say you want to go out?
No, we've talked about going down to Grafton and doing the same thing, which again, another winery. But no, we've not. And
well,
I don't know. I mean, sometimes.
Are you talking about Chad really, Derry?
Yes.
Tell him I said that is not a date.
Sometimes I can be really oblivious to things.
But it sounds like he didn't think it was a date either. He didn't say, "Hey, I had a really great time. Do you want to do this again?" He didn't try to kiss you?
No, he did not try to kiss me.
I mean, not all dates end in kisses, but I'm just trying to get a feel for things.
We didn't hold hands. We didn't hold hands.
Yeah, see, no, this is maybe he was hoping, but maybe not because he didn't ask you out again or anything.
No. And I had, like, when we got back to his house, I had to go to the bathroom. I had to walk through his bedroom to use the bathroom. He didn't try anything.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been the time. Right?
Yeah. No, you have to. No, yeah. See, I've been that person, like, thinking somebody as very young, asking you out. And then you find out it's like a group thing or something. But then as an adult, I've been on the opposite side where I think we're just going to go hang out, and it's pretty apparent from the get-go when they bring you flowers that they think it's a date. Like,
right.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
I
don't think that's a date.
Okay. Okay. See, I didn't think it was a date. I really didn't. I don't think so. But what do
No.
I know? What do I know? Okay. So one more, and this one's really bad. And this one
Save
is
the best for last.
Yeah, this one is a recent one. And you haven't heard this story yet.
Oh. Uh-oh. All right.
Okay. So
Wait. I have a question.
Okay.
We're recording this. So do I reply as if we're not recording this? What I would tell you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sometimes, believe it or not, guys, I do dial back things when we're recording. You should, yeah.
Yeah, because we might have to delete this entire part. So just
don't mention any names then.
No, I'm not mentioning any names or any towns or anything.
Wait, okay.
Any
but
identifying...
we might have to delete this. I'm the editor, so I decide what stays or goes.
Yeah. So I will let you. Shea will be the ultimate decision of this if this stays in the episode or not. Okay. Right. So I've been going out with this guy. This is about 3 or 4 dates in. Kind of had a rough week. He's like, "Hey, come over and hang out." I'm like, "Okay, that sounds great." So we're over hanging out. I've already eaten. He's like making a sandwich. So he's sitting there eating a sandwich. We're kind of chit-chatting about the crappy week we've both had. And there's a knock at the door. And he goes and answers the door and he says, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And he slams the door. And then he comes back in, he gets his shoes on. He's like, "Oh my God, that's my ex." Now, the ex has a restraining order against him.
Oh.
For a story that supposedly she made up about him, to try and get him in trouble because she's a total psycho.
Obviously,
ex.
she has a restraining order and showed up at his house unannounced. All right.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So he puts on his shoes and goes outside to talk to her, which I'm like, I don't think this is a good idea.
Well, it's better than him bringing her inside.
True story. And he's like, "Can you come outside and stand on my porch and just kind of witness this?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." Oh, so I'm standing on the porch watching them have their little discussion. And she's obviously wanting him to come back. And he's like, why would I take you back after this? And anyway, a lot of similar back and forth. And then apparently she has to go to the bathroom. So she goes to go inside the house, walks right past me, goes in the house. And he's like, and I go over to talk to him. I'm like, "What the heck?" And he's like, "I don't know." He's like, "I don't know. She's obviously crazy." And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I'm like, do you want me to call the cops? Or he's like, no, I don't want to involve anything. Let's just hope this ends amicably and she just leaves. I'm like, okay. So she comes back out. I stay back up on the porch. They finish having their discussion. And then he walks off with her. Around the edge of the block. I can no longer see them. And I'm like, sitting there going, what do I do now? And keep in mind, this is date number 4. And I finally, like about 5 minutes later, I'm like, "Are you okay?" I text message him, "Are you okay? What's going on? Do you need me to come rescue you?" No response. About 10 minutes later, I send him a little question mark. He comes back and he's like, yeah, this is bad. He's like, I just need to go for a drive and clear my head. I guess you should probably go home.
Oh my God. Oh, he's probably going to meet her. Oh,
More than
I
likely.
take it you haven't gone out with him again.
I'm pretty sure that was our last date.
This is really bad. I think you should go home now. Oh, that's better than him coming back saying, we got back together. I think you should leave now. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a keeper.
Obviously,
This-
she wanted to keep him. She don't
No.
want to
I
go.
meant the story. Not the guy. The story. Oh, that is great. Oh, that is great.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think I'm even gonna try for date number 5 there. I'm pretty sure that
No,
that's done. I don't know.
no. It'd be a tiny bit different if there was no restraining order and she showed up and he talked to her, then had her leave right away.
Right?
But there was a restraining order and no.
I mean, I can understand me like asking me to watch so that I could be like a witness, like in case she claims later on that something happened, he can say, yeah, I had a witness to everything. But then, like I said, when he walked out of my vision for 15 minutes, and I really think he only came back because I was like sitting in his house.
Yeah, that's what I said. He was probably going to meet her.
More than likely.
Wow. Yeah, that's bad.
There's a whole bunch of red flags. I just blew right by there. Just like, shoo.
This is why you have to start telling me before it gets to that point, because she waits. She says, oh, I have this date with this guy and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And like the next day, either good or bad. And then I don't hear anything. I'm talking about probably the same guy. I'm not sure. And then find out on air that date number 4. See, you need me in between for the flags. I'll be throwing those fucking yellow flags. Yellow, caution. Nope, red flag. Oh.
And there should be a Shea screening process before I go out on a date. Okay, you have to talk to Shea first.
Oh, I should be an expert at this point.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, but mind you, probably need somebody to screen my guys because, but that'll be in like 10 years because, like I said. Oh, that's great. That is staying in. That is staying in. So, guys, if you have a story, first bad date, and you're brave enough, because it's not that easy. We know people are going to listen to this. All 2 of you. No. But no, seriously, send them to our group.
Yeah, they're funny. They're funny to talk about.
Yeah.
Like I said, the bite story is hilarious. The idea of him just biting me, and he did that on all of his dates. All of his dates, he just leaned over and bit them to see their reaction. I don't.
Can you guys out there beat that? Send it to us. Send it to our group, Exploring the Unknown podcast with Rebecca and Shea. Send it to us there, or if you don't want it in the group, you can email me.
Oh yeah, and we could read them anonymously. You don't have to like.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to do it,
confess.
If you want to do
more
email.
I could have told that I don't want to call out people that might.
Yeah, we got to be careful. I mean, there's a difference between being funny and being cruel.
Right, and like I said, that last one, I'm not gonna give any details of that guy because I don't want him to accidentally get arrested.
Yeah, so email them, Shea's Paranormal Chat at Gmail.
So I guess this is the end of that episode. The end of this Chronicles of Dating with Becca.
I'm sure there'll be a part 2.
I kept telling Shea all these bad date stories, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, we should do an episode of that."
Yeah. Was it on speakerphone and my mother was there?
Yes.
It was so I was like, I have a witness. You agreed.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. That is great.
Yeah.
But all right, we kept you guys for 50 minutes. Thank you for listening. It is great to be back, and it's great to be silly, and we like sharing once in a while some personal stuff about us.
Yeah, and this was kind of a fun, lighthearted episode to welcome Shea back and laugh a little bit.
Yes. I'm very excited to be back. And I can't wait for the next one.
I can't either. And I think Shea and I have been talking, and I think we're going to try and do like some ghost hunting 101 episodes. So,
yes.
Just kind of bringing back the, how do we ghost hunt and different tips and techniques to do in paranormal investigating. So look forward to those.
Yep. Look forward to those. Those will be in our group, not on Spreaker. They're going to be video form in our group only. They're not going to be a podcast. But we've done 2 a couple of years ago. We started.
Yeah, we did some a while ago, a couple of years ago, and I had worked on like a class, making a class for Ghost Hunting 101, and I don't know.
She failed.
COVID happened in there.
Yeah.
COVID happened in there, and I just kind of stepped away from it for a bit, like everybody did everything else. So, I think we're gonna try and get back to it and just kind of like revive it, but in the Facebook group. So
yeah,
go find the Facebook group.
The first 2 we did, like I said, it was season 2 of Shea's Paranormal Chat. So I'm about to start. Come this August, I'll be starting season 5 of Shea's Paranormal Chat, if you can believe that. But Ghost Hunting 101, best of. The first one was the best of episode May 20th on Shea's Paranormal Chat. So I rebroadcasted it. And Ghost Hunting 101 Theory, What Are Ghosts? Best of. You can find that May 27th. So good timing on the announcement.
Yeah. So look forward to those. And if you have like questions or something, or if you have a bad dating story I
want to hear those. If you're not in our group, you got to join it. Like we said, Exploring the Unknown podcast with Rebecca and Shea. Just put the words in, and it will pop up, and either share it in the group or email me, and we'll do it anonymously. But yeah, that'll be great. So,
for sure.
Anything else? Are we out? Are we done?
I think that's it. So
thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.